Good morning, my beautiful people. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Figure with my time, I'm gonna do a little dispatching and let a few people see what's going on in a few areas. I'm gonna target a few areas today, and we're gonna look into some of these areas to see what the rates are like in your area real quick. My name is Rufus Thorne. I'm the owner of D12 Transportation, LLC. I have a few people concerned about box trucks that are coming into the business, some people in different areas. So regardless of what area you in the U.S., you get a chance to peep and see what box trucks are doing with Amazon, 53-foot trucks are doing with Convoy. And we're going to go to some of these load boards. So with that being said, I'm going to show y'all, let y'all get a glimpse at what's going on. Y'all see that? Can y'all see that? Is it upside down? What's up, Pat? What's up? What's up, James? So is it right? Y'all can see that, right? Just give a thumbs up or anything. Just want to make sure y'all ain't seeing in reverse or something. So that's what's about to happen. All right. So when I go to my load boards, I can go to, what's up, cuz? And then go ahead and get this dispatching information. So y'all, as long as y'all can see and it's not showing in reverse, that's good. So this is my load board. This is my Amazon Relay. That's what the Amazon Relay app, when I go and research load, that's Convoy up there. Amazon. The two I'll be using today is tutorials. I like to use them because they're pretty simple to use and I can explain it better and you can grasp a hold of some of the basic concepts of dispatching. So I'm gonna teach you a few functions of these boards and how they work. So I click on Amazon and it asks you these questions in the beginning. This temperature check, yes. Have you had one today? Do you have a fever? No. And it says get it in and out, get it rolling. Go up here to the 3 bars. You'll see that it's got trips. If you go into this trips portion, you can see the trips we done lately. That was a Convoy is on here, so when it's got loads in Huntsville, Alabama, one in Thomasville, Georgia, they'll give me pop-ups to let me know new loads are in the area. So I don't have to really use a lot of load boards because they inform me of different areas. And I got my thing set up. So when I go here, if I go to trips, first I got to go to load board to open it up. So I open up load board, you see my whole screen open up. Yep. So when you see the whole screen open up like that, you see you got poster truck. Poster truck mean like if you living in an area and you have a job and you got a truck available in your yard, you can just post a truck when it's going to be available. And Amazon will notify you based on what you're looking for, certain rates or whatever. So that's what poster truck is. Search is simply what it is. When you're searching for a load, you can see this and it's got search. It'll open up the screen. Recommend, same thing, sort of like recommended loads. Okay, you'll see that it says, congratulations, I have early access. I posted this yesterday. When you got early access, I get to see the better loads 45 minutes to an hour before anybody else. But I have to create my search. Now, when you got work type in here, there's round trips. Round trip is simply when you're going from one location to drop off in another and you come back to that location, that's round trip. But the other work type is block load. Block loads is basically when you got a block, they'll say you start in whatever Amazon warehouse, and they'll say you got a 13-hour block, 36-hour block, or whatever. That means you're on duty for that 13 hours, and they agreed in contract to pay you once that 13-hour or 36-hour block ends. So that's what the block work. Origin is what you set your search. I can set this search for anywhere. You see Jacksonville, Chicago. You will see all that there. So when you got it, Jacksonville, Chicago, my wife getting a hustle on. With the daughter-in-law, they getting a hustle on, so she about to get a bungle package on, so that's what she doing. So I can search any of these: Chicago, Illinois, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Chattanooga. Or I could put in any city. So for this purpose, I'm gonna put in Atlanta. Open Atlanta. See Atlanta, Georgia pop up, so I hit Atlanta, Georgia. Now the radius would be how far out you're willing to search from the Atlanta area. I usually put 100 miles. I go 100 miles looking for a load, so it's gonna search all the areas. Now you see more filters on this. So open up more filters to kind of, you see how it's got a destination? I don't like that because you limit yourself. So if it got loads out of Atlanta going to other destinations, it probably won't show it to you. So we're gonna clear that. We're gonna clear that simply by going here. I'm trying to, let me end the searches. So when I put hide filters, I'm gonna go right here. And it's got the word type, blocks, origin, destination city, Orlando. It's not good to always put a destination city because you limit yourself when you do that. So we're gonna try to get rid of that. And we're gonna try to clear it. Now on this particular one, I'm usually doing it from my phone, but I wanna clear those. And I'm gonna try to click on it. And destination. See, I want to clear that, but it's not letting me clear it for some reason. The reason I want to clear it because I don't want to limit myself based on my searches. Most people will go anywhere, and that's what I want to do. I want to, so I'm gonna go start over. Let me see if I just, that's recommended. That's a load that they recommend. I wouldn't take it. $1.97. Live drop, 300 and something miles, paying 600 and something dollars. I wouldn't take that. It's not my cup of tea. But say I'm going to save searches, boom. Going into Orlando. I should have some Atlanta. See, these are my saved searches. Orlando to Texas. Bro, I don't, man, let me look at this Atlanta. Okay, Kelvin asked for Orlando to Texas, Amazon. So I'm gonna go Orlando right here. Boom. Back out of it, go to searches. So I'm gonna go here, my location. It's gonna have Orlando, destination. I'm gonna put Texas. He said Texas. I'm gonna put, I don't know if it's Houston or what. I apologize, y'all. So I'm gonna put Houston or Dallas. I'm gonna put Dallas, D-A. I'm gonna put Dallas, Texas. Boom. Okay, I got Dallas, Texas. How far away from Dallas? How far around the Dallas, Texas area? I'm gonna put 100 miles. All right. So when I do that, see Convoy telling about loads from Groveland to McKinney, Tampa loads, Groveland to McKinney. That's what it's showing. So I always get informed. So now it's got, see them crappy loads. That's it. But did I hit search? Boom, boom, Orlando. You see it's got work type, city of Dallas, origin Orlando.
Oh, I would pay good 54 because that's
25 miles deadhead out of there, picking up in Orlando, going to Dallas. 21 hours, 1,000 and something. That's crappy. So that's the only thing they showing now, Kev. But these boards change. You just have to keep watching them. So now I'm gonna go back to Atlanta. And when I go to Atlanta, I'm gonna put show early access only. That's the only early access load from Atlanta to Fort Worth. It's going from Atlanta to Fort Worth, $2.09. To me, that's crappy. Yep. They are cheap and they are crappy. Amazon do get like that. So I'm gonna change my equipment here. Boom. You see it? I'm gonna do 26-foot box trucks because that's what people ask me about, the box truck loads. And boom. All right, I'm gonna go off that. After I got the 26-foot box truck loads, I'm gonna get it off just early access. I wanna see all of them. Atlanta to Dallas. I actually wanna clear this search. And it should be somewhere that's allowing me to clear that search. We're gonna go back. I'm gonna try to just clear this search where it's just got Atlanta. So I'm trying to get it to where I can actually show y'all. Okay, I got them searched. Okay, I got the, I want to remove this going to Dallas area as one of my go-to spots. These are the box truck loads. Y'all see 26-foot box trucks. 160 miles box trucks coming out of Atlanta going to, it's 4 drops. It's paying $300 and something, $2.26 a mile. Some people say that's good for box trucks. I done showed y'all this before. That's the refreshing thing. You see how this next refresh in 26, you can stop it, boom, by hitting that. And it'll pause the clock so you can actually look at all the loads. But these are the box truck loads, 151 miles, paying $300 and something, $1.95 a mile, $2.48 a mile. Box truck loads out of Atlanta, paying $3.53. When I usually dispatch these loads, I look at the hours that Amazon give for these loads. So I say, hey, for this particular load, it's going 142 miles, 4 hours, almost 5 hours for 350 something. So that's almost $70 an hour. You know what I'm saying? So some people, that's what I like to look at and consider, as well as the date, how long I'm gonna be on the load, and what the load is paying per hour. Some people good with that with box trucks. I can't say yeah or nay. I like the long haul box truck loads where you go over the road, seem to get better rates. Now Atlanta rates are not as good as Chicago and other areas, and I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all that in a minute. Region anywhere. Okay, so that's how I do it. Destination anywhere. So now let's look. I changed the destination to anywhere. Okay, now you see this. You see this 26-foot box. It's 8 hours, but it's paying $539 for a box truck. I really don't like that. 8 goes into 53, probably about what, 8 times, almost 9, almost 90. It's $80 an hour. So I guess that wouldn't be as bad. You got one $8 an hour, 57. I mean 52, 527. You got this in 4 hours paying 36. That's like $90 an hour. Well, almost 5 hours, so it's like $70 an hour. So you have to look at that when you're dispatching. All right, these are 26-foot box truck loads coming out of So you see them rates, right? So now I'm gonna change the location, y'all. I'm gonna put Chicago, Illinois, and we're gonna look at that box truck loads in Chicago, Illinois. Let me show y'all the difference. Not much of a difference, but it is a difference. You see how 7 hours, 59. So 7 goes to 59, what? 8 times? Yeah. So you're down there at $80 an hour. Right there. So then you got this one, 7 hours, 7.5 hours, 689 for a box truck, 242 miles. Consider all that when you're doing your miles. When I do my miles, I always would say, like, for the semi trucks, I use $6 a mile. For my box trucks, I use the same thing just to be safe. But you see the rates are better, $3.13, 4 hours, 4.5 hours, $411. So that's almost $100 an hour. So to me, that's not a bad run. Those are what I look for. He got one 3 hours and 3.5 hours for $303. It's going only 79 miles. That's doggone sure something I would consider. So these are box truck loads in Atlanta. People were calling me about it. So you can see exactly how some of this dispatching stuff works. If I was to book this load, I simply would hit book, and those who I have on my list, I'll go back and show you my list of how I book. But that's something I would consider. I just want to show y'all 79 miles, $303. That's good. 3 hours and 3.5 hours, $300. To me, that's not bad. Even this with 2 hours and 45 minutes, that's 3 hours, and 3 goes into 24, like 8 times. That's $80 an hour. It's only 81 miles. I don't think that is bad. Atlanta is way better than Florida when it comes to these box truck loads. A lot of people want to know where the money at when they talking about these loads. Sometimes in trucking, a lot of times in trucking, you just got to go where the money at. Like if I had a box truck, I go sleep in the box truck or get me a hotel room and work this area all week. So if it's only, look at it like this, if it's only 4 hours, right? Let's find one with a decent rate. I just seen one, boom, 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 boom. Let's look at this. Let's look at, man, I just seen one 600 and something dollars. I didn't want to cheat y'all. Boom, boom, boom. I thought I seen one 600. See my convoy loads pop up? I don't really have to use load boards because I'm set up and I run volume as a fleet. So they call me pretty much. They notify me. Amazon, Convoy, Home Depot. That's the difference once you run in volume. Appreciate that, bud. Yeah, man, he called me not too long ago or text me, bud, so he good. So what's up, JC? Appreciate that, bud. Kevin, we already talking. Everybody that's on, I'm gonna go through some of the functions of dispatching so y'all can see exactly how, this thing works and so what some of the rates are doing. So this is 7 hours for 69. That's almost $100 an hour. So if you're doing a 12-hour day, right, on a box truck, and let's say you do this one for 7 hours, and then let's find one for 5. We're gonna see 4 hours. So that paid what? Looking at 7 hours, 37 miles. Deadhead is just how far is it from Atlanta? 37 miles. That's where you go to pick it up. The whole trip, 280 miles. I do 60 miles an hour to calculate how long I'll be on there. So drive time out of that whole 7 hours, 6 goes into that. At least 4.5, 5 hours are gonna be driving. So 7 hours, you can make $694, right? So we're at $694. So we're gonna say we're gonna put in another 4 hours. Let's find a 4-hour trip. And I ain't considered time yet on a lot of stuff, but I'm just saying, okay, this 4-hour trip right here, another $263. This another 4-hour trip for $288. Let's see, can we look? Shoot, this is a 3-hour trip. This is a 3-hour job, almost 4 hours for $300 something. So you almost at $1,000 a day, on a box truck, 55 miles from Atlanta. So you can make that possible. So you can work. The other one was 7. This one is 3. That's 10 hours. So you can work a 12-hour day basically and make $1,000 a day in box truck. You know what I'm saying? And looking at the miles, it was 79 for this and 200 something, probably 300 miles. If you're basing off 6 miles a gallon, this is how you would calculate it. I feel you, brother. That's why you successful. You know what I'm saying? I do it all the time. Even though it might not be your thing as far as you having the equipment right now, but it's a lucrative business. It's a $1 trillion industry, so hell, I listen too. But when you calculate your miles, you'll simply, I'm gonna try to get a pencil and paper and kind of show y'all this if I can. Hold on. I'm gonna show y'all how you calculate your miles when you're doing it, because a lot of y'all don't know what your operation cost is to run some of these runs. Y'all just see the $600 and $300 and y'all do it. Well, if you look at this, I'm gonna kind of give a rough draft of them holding my pencil, so y'all bear with me with it. So you can do 6 miles a gallon. 1 gallon, right? 6 miles a gallon. So if you do 6 miles a gallon, that means every 100 miles, no, 600 miles is 100 gallons. All right, so at 600 miles equals 100 gallons. So, all right, when you want to figure out how much you'll spend on trips, this is what's gonna happen. So let's say fuel now is $5.25. Fuel cost is $5.25 per gallon. All right, excuse the chicken stretch. So fuel is 5. So that times 100, which is 100 gallons, times 100 gallons is $5.25. So for every 100 gallons, you're gonna spend $5.25, right? But you can go 600 miles off 100 gallons. Remember that. All right, y'all get that? 6 miles a gallon, 6 miles off 1 gallon. So if you go 600 miles, that means you get it's gonna take 100 gallons. 100 gallons would cost you $525 for 600 miles. So we got that right. So for every 600 miles you calculate, you anticipate spending $525. $525. Y'all got that right? All right. So when you calculating your cost of what you would spend, you know for $525 you can go at least 6. Oh, my daggone battery dying. Give me 1 second, y'all. T, I need you, my love. I just need my cord with the iPhone charger. Just unplug it and bring it to me when you get a chance. So, okay. So when you calculating these runs, let's say in a box truck, you do 2 of these runs a day. You got one, we found one for 3 hours, right? Let's say we found one for 3 hours, paying $303. Y'all see that one? Right here, 55 miles outside of Atlanta, deadhead. That's what deadhead means, to go pick up the run. You don't get paid for it. And it's 79 miles total. So I will add them two, because I add my deadhead miles in that. So we said 80 plus 55 is first trip. I'll say first trip miles, pickup equals 55 and 80 is what? 135? If I'm wrong, 135. Let's do it like this. Let's try to get as correct as we can with the math. Thanks, babe. So this first trip, just going to pick up, you're doing 135 miles. All right. So to pick up that load, you're going 55 miles. The trip is 79 miles, 80 miles. So that whole trip is 135 miles. So for 135 miles to complete this trip, you're gonna make $303 and 48 cents. Pay. Y'all got it? We're gonna pay it out. That's how much it's paying out for the first trip. You only did 100. Now you got 600 miles. Don't forget, you got 600. You don't put 525 in there, so you're still in the red for real, right? All right. But you only did 135 miles out of this 5-something. So just think of how many miles you're about to do. So your second trip. Let's look at the second trip. And this is one day. Day one. All right. So you can run 2.5, 3 days off a tank. So we're just gonna do the numbers when you're doing it, so you can kind of figure out how much you're making. Okay, let's say we find this other trip. The second trip we saw for $600 and something, then we for 7 hours, didn't we? We're gonna go down and see it. And you can run what you want. You can run a couple of these for 3, and you say, shoot, I bet off doing 3 of them, 12, whatever. You can switch it up like that, as long as you make sure your time don't overlap. You know what I'm saying? That you can get to your load on time, because your performance rating, it really matters. There you go. We got 7 hours right here. This trip right here, 37 miles. Now, you might have to deadhead from where you at. Don't forget to calculate when you unload that first trip to this location. It actually might be closer than 37 miles. I don't know. So we're going to add the miles again for the second trip. That'll be 37 miles plus 280 miles. So we'll do 37 plus 280. That's 317 miles. All right. And fuel killing y'all, so I'm just giving you how you add it up. All right, so if you're going 317, your second trip on the first day is 317, making how much did we anticipate? Did they have listed? $694.19, right? Yep. So we're gonna do 694.19. Boom. So this is the first day. So when you add those two together for your first day, you made 900. Now you're out the red. That's how much you made. First day. Minus the fuel. 525. So when you minus the fuel, 7,272. For that day, right there, you got 272. How much fuel do we have left though? Let's see. Okay, we done did 135 plus the first trip was 135 miles. Second trip, 317. So let's add 135 to that. 452. So we still got 148 miles we can do it. So we still can do another trip if you want to burn that energy, another 3-hour trip possibly, because it's only 135 miles you did, because you got, after you do this here, 430, that minus 600 is 148 remaining. Fuel remaining 148 miles. So when you got 148 miles, you can actually do another trip to where you can make, if you did another $300 and something trip, and you can find them a 4-hour trip or whatever. Based on the miles, you know you got at least that many miles left. Now, I base this off of 6 miles a gallon. You actually get more than that in a box truck. This is the formula I use for semi-trucks. So you can actually have a $500 day and work. We did 10 hours, probably 15 hours. It depends on, your setup. So you just seen it. If you do another trip, whatever. And that's just day one. So if you make $500 a day, that's 24 hours a day, and you anticipate doing 15 hours, you got 9 hours downtime in 24-hour period. You do that 5 days a week. That looks like $2,500 based on that schedule right there. So a lot of people give you numbers. Some people can, find some good lows. These here, sometimes you find these lows. These rates are low to me. They're all right with some people, but they're low to me. So some people you get $4 a mile. Sometimes you get $5 a mile. You find trips like that. These are just the ones that's posted. And the reason they stand on here like this is because no one's really picking them now. But some people, they do good. They be like, man, I'm gonna do a few of these trips, whatever. And that's fuel based on 525. The fuel makes a big difference now. So when y'all doing that, you can kind of use that as a formula to figure out some of your operational costs. All right. Anybody interested in knowing a certain area? We're gonna look at some previous loads. Let me see, can I look at some trips? I haven't been running Amazon a lot lately, but what I am gonna do is go to upcoming trips, that upcoming history. So I go to history. When I go to history, see it's from 3 to 9, no trips. I did one last week, y'all. If y'all remember, I did Orlando to Orlando, 69 miles. It paid me $286. So I did that one. That's the only one I did between that time. So I keep backing it up. I'm find some of my older runs. None from March to March 26th, none from March 13th to March 19th, none. We're gonna go back to January. I think January was really the last time I was doing my contracts with Amazon. So I'm gonna show y'all how that worked. All right, Auburn to Auburn. They that one load right there, R. Matthews. Saturday, we're gonna look at this load. It had 8 drops. No, it's 8 total of 8 loads. So this probably was a block. Yeah. So the block probably started at 5:45, and it went to 1:30. Probably on that next day. Let me see. If you look at it, we can click on to give you all the details. So it stopped on the 10th at 4:37. When did it start though? Let's see when it started. It started on the 8th, so at 4. So it probably was a 36-hour block for 17, because it started at 1600 on the 8th and ended on the 10th. That morning. It started in the evening, but it ended that morning. So this probably was a 36-hour block, paying $1,714. So that's how you would look at that. That's a block run where you just keep coming back on that block and you run that block for a certain amount of time. And that's how you would figure out what block that was. We can go to the next run. Davenport to Davenport, that's another block. Look like it's it took 21 hours. In 21 hours, he made $1,735. You'll see it, Davenport to Davenport. That's another block run or a contract run. Probably a block. R. Matthews. Now we're gonna go back and we're gonna look at some of the other runs in December. Just showing some of y'all. Some of the people grasp this a little. All right, this look like another box from Jacksonville to Jacksonville, 1 day and some hours. Paid $2,352. Guy to Jacksonville. That's a carry out of Jacksonville, Mr. L. Partner out of Tampa. Partner out of Miami. That's why you see the Opelika, you see the Tampa. These people run their own areas. Jacksonville. That's a carry out of Jacksonville. That's a driver out of Jacksonville. But you see the loads coming out of Jacks. Amazon abbreviates a lot of these runs, but you can see it. Miami. I'm gonna show y'all a run I did. I don't even know when I did that run. Hold on. This is a run I did from Atlanta going showing out. That's guy he out of Georgia, and this guy Larry here that used to drive. That week paid $12,600. That was on December. Let me show y'all when it started. Check it out. It started this day right here, load number 1. I'm gonna show y'all when it started. It started on a Sunday, I know that, so the 5th had to be on a Sunday. This is a contract run. This is what they look like. So this line started at 4:20 in the morning on a Sunday, right? They were running teams on this. They paid 12 something. The last run stopped in Houston. So with the last run stopping in Houston on the 5th, that's like 4 days, because they canceled the rest of the contract. But Amazon would still pay you for the remainder of what they promised they would pay out on that contract. And it paid out $12,611 for that week, 11 cents. All right, so that's how you would research the board and kind of look and see what's going on, see what's on and popping. So when you go to search for loads, you go to load boards, it'll pop up. And then you can go to search. And you can put in an origin, whatever the origin is. You can put in the work type. You see you got block runs that y'all seen, the block one-way round trips. So I put in all 3. What origin I want to search. Let's say, let's look in Chicago, Illinois. I think we ain't looked in Chicago. So they go Chicago, Illinois. I'm gonna go 75 miles outside of Chicago. Chicago is a very popular area. So I'm gonna go to Chicago, Illinois. And I'm not gonna put, in my filters, I'm not gonna put a destination city. So when it comes to destination, just put anywhere. And that get rid of all the cities you would like to go to, because you can limit yourself like that. So we're going to Chicago. We're going to look at their box truck. Look at their box truck load. 385. Now, remember, we did 7 hours in Atlanta, but it was paying like a little bit more. But this 7 hours at 385, 109 miles, 400 and something dollars. So 7 goes into 42. Roughly, you could say 7 goes into 42 when you're talking about 26-foot box trucks. What is it, like 6 times? Yeah, 6 times, so that's like $60 an hour. But their rates are a lot better. Look at these rates for a chassis. Now, you got to have that UIA insurance, which I'm already in the process of getting my UIA insurance. $6.50 a mile, 35 miles, paying $270. All right. I can't book them, though, until my insurance clear. You see this book right here? I can book those. See that dark blue, but that light blue, it won't let me do it unless you got this insurance, that UIA insurance. That authorizes you to go on ports, so forth and so on. What's up, D? All right. So you got a lot of container work around Chicago. That's another one. That's a crappy load, $1.54 a mile, 7 hours, 400 and something for a 53-footer. I'm not rocking with that. That's a 7 hour, paying $60-something for a box truck. That might be all right. 38 CD short runs, 38 miles, $6.04 a mile, 4 hours for $229. I'm not happy with that, because that's like, 4 goes into 22, roughly like $50 and something an hour for a container run. I'm just not rocking with that. Okay. Now you got another $7 and $600 and something dollars. That's not a bad run right there for a box truck too. So that, I don't think that's bad. 7 goes into 68. Almost 9 times. So that's like $90 an hour. So you can rock with that. So 7 hours at $90 an hour, 240 something miles. You can rock with that. And remember, I don't know, man. You got me blocked, D. You got me blocked, man. I tag you in it. I'm just going over something, how you calculate fuel. I went through it earlier. 6 miles per gallon. I base it off 6 miles a gallon. So the cost per gallon, $5.25. So if you go 600 miles at 6 miles a gallon, if you go, so that'd be 100 gallons. 100 gallons of fuel with the average rate. I based it off of $5.25 a gallon. So that'd be $525 for 600 miles, because you got 600 miles here. And then I was doing some trips that I found in Atlanta area. And I said you can make, one of the trips was $303. One of them was paying 600 and something, so I added together, and I had 148 miles remaining out of that tank based on a $6 miles to the gallon, which these are box trucks that we're talking about. So box truck get more to the miles, but I just kind of giving people an idea how you can do the operation cost for some of the things. A cube truck, if you're on there, it's another form of box trucks. I think it's just not a 26-footer, it's a shorter box truck. So if y'all see that, don't get confused. That's what Amazon call a cube truck. You can Google a lot. If you don't understand, you put Amazon, what's an Amazon cube truck? Go to YouTube, and you can Google it, and they'll show you a lot of this. See, this 3 hours right here, y'all, for a box truck at 20. See, that's the difference. That's like, it's like $90 an hour right there. So I can rock with it, and it's 86 miles. So those are the ones I would look for. It's not many mileage. It's cutting out a lot of overhead. It's 3 hours and 35 minutes. That's almost like $80-something an hour. You can rock with that. You know what I'm saying? You can probably squeeze in quite a few of them at 274. So let's say you're doing 12-hour days. So you can do at least, 3 of those. And, you done a 10-hour day, probably not much fuel. Me, I concentrate on 12 and 15-hour days. That's what I concentrate on. But this one ain't bad either for a box truck. You see that? That's 4.5 hours for $400 and something. That's not bad. So you can do 3 of those, and you're over $1,000. You know what I'm saying? You're right at $1,250. It's only 55 miles outside of this part of Chi-Town. But Chi-Town areas, they usually have a better rate than most areas. You see these box trucks? See how ours were like $1 and something, $2 and something. Theirs like $3 and something. Now here's a pretty good little UIA insurance. This is Chastity's containers. So 31 miles outside of Chicago, 30-mile run for 24. So that's like $80 an hour. I can get down with that. But like I said, I can't book it until they update my UIA insurance with Amazon. Here's a 10-hour run. So that's $80 an hour. $1.65 a mile. I don't rock like that. Not for a 53-foot. If it was a box truck, I might try to make it do a little something. But for 10 hours, that's a whole day. 800. Some people cool with that. I mean, I'm just not rocking like that. Can't tell nobody what they can and can't do. I just got my number set, and I usually get my number. I've been in it long enough to have a voice, so I usually get what I ask for. So these are some of the rates, man, when you're dealing with Amazon. I just wanted to show. Some people are in Virginia. People in Virginia wanted me to show Virginia rates, so I'm going to do that before I exit the Amazon cycle. All right, we're going to do Virginia. It says, congratulations, we got early access based on our performance. So early access, like I said, y'all, they give us the good loads 45 minutes to an hour before they put it out to the rest of the board. So these are the 3 types of loads on Amazon. You would click on all those. The origin, I'm going to go Norfolk, I guess. Norfolk, Virginia. 75. I'm going to go 100 miles because I'm not really familiar. Or maybe, yeah, I'm going to go 100 miles out of Norfolk. Then destination. See how it's got Chi-Town in there? You want to get rid of that. So you will go here to destination and put anywhere. Boom. And it'll get rid of, boom. As soon as you click anywhere, get rid of that Chi-Town and all the stuff you were seeing. You always want to do that because you'll limit yourself on searches. So look at these rates. 12 hours. Now you're going 12 hours. I don't know why it's got 12 hours for 3 hours and something. A 300 and something mile run right here. That ain't, I don't know what that's about. Sometimes you can call this people's places and get it off, but it's paying $1,000. But why is it 12 hours and 27 minutes? But anyway. All right, you got one right here. 3 days for $4,000, 174. See, when you got these miles, man, there's 3 days, and you do the mile calculation, 2,400 miles, and that's not even $2 a mile, bro. So the fuel on that, if you look at our formula, 600 miles, you're gonna spend $500. 6 goes into that 4 times. So 4 times, you spending $2,000 in fuel. $525. 6 goes into $24.95. Right here, y'all see it. 5 times. So if you're doing 600 miles going that at least, 4 times. So 4 times 500 is 2,000 already. Over 2,000. like 2,100. So you got to subtract 2,100 from that. So you don't work 3 days for 2,100. I guess you can average that. 3 goes into $2,700 a day. Some people say it's good, you know. One man's trash is another man's treasures, I guess. So I just don't rock like that. So with that being said, you can look at Virginia. Maryland, DC is a better area, but usually they ain't bad. They're box short runs. You see this 177. I really don't like that. You know, 5 hours, 6 hours, 6 going to that, $50 an hour. I ain't trying to hear a lot of that. But then there's these board changes like sometimes 3, 6, 8, 12 hours. So the loads you're seeing now are probably the leftover runs. That's why you have to get it early in the morning. You got certain areas it's best to look on the boards at certain times. So you're probably seeing all the hand-me-down stuff. Everybody done picked all the good stuff. So, but I just like to go and show y'all exactly how to actually maneuver through the boards, some of the things that I think you need to know when you're dispatching yourselves and looking on the board. So we're going to go out of this. Amazon, I'm going to go to my convoy board. So I'm going to go out of that. Boom. I'm going to click out of that. Now we'll go to convoy. Boom. I like convoy because I build a relationship with them and I understand it a lot better. And to me, the rates are better. I know how to manipulate and maneuver through the convoy board better than most boards. So, all right, we're in the search now. I got a lot of different searches because I deal with a lot of carriers and people in different areas. So I'm gonna just start in Atlanta because a few people out of Atlanta wanted to see. These usually don't cater to the box trucks. So we're gonna look at, it's Albany. Now I do Albany, y'all. It's got 57 available loads, 59 votes. I got the drive-in search and power-only search. That's what y'all looking at. Albany to anywhere. So I'm gonna click on it, right? So it's got Albany to Panama City, 194 miles, paying $949 already. Look at the rates. 200 miles, that's $4 a mile. To run that trip, let's say 45 minutes getting loaded, 45 minutes getting unloaded. You go from 8 o'clock to 7 in the morning. So you can load it, go home, go to sleep, and be in Panama City in the morning. That's $1,000. 2 deliveries. I also can bid on them. Like this particular load comes on the 7, and it's close to the 7. So the 7 is like shit tomorrow. So that's probably, so you can probably bid on that run right there and add your extra $300 on it, $200 to $300 on that run, because it's so close to the deadline. They need it there. So you can cheat a little bit right there. Albany to Knoxville, 383 miles. I say 400 miles. That's over $4 a mile right there. But I can bid on it because of my volume. I can bid probably 1,600 on that, you know, so it's something to consider. Now, this is a power only. Now, these are van runs. You got to have your own trailer. This is a power only run. So we got a power only run Monday for $1,000. But you see this $597? $597 is the whole trip. But you see our flexible trailer return? So it picks up Monday at 5 o'clock in the evening, and then it delivers Tuesday morning at 4. So I'm gonna go into this load and show y'all something about this load. How you doing, Miss Carr? So when you go inside these loads, only 300 loaded miles. So they paying you $1,000 for 300 miles. Now I can bid on this and add, say 1,200, whatever, because of my volume, because I'm basically convoy, look at my volume, my performance rate, I usually get it. It only weighs 15,000, roughly 16,000 pounds. That's another good fuel saving. This is what I want to show y'all. You see how I can keep this trailer for an extra $100 for extra 48 hours past the date I'm supposed to return the trailer, because it's got me turning this trailer back into Procter & Gamble on Wednesday, I guess. But it's giving me an extra 48 hours for a trailer. So therefore, if you can't afford a trailer, you can pay an extra $100 for extra 48 hours. So now you're supposed to turn it on Wednesday, now you can turn it in on Friday. In addition to that, it said extended return time to accommodate a backhaul and avoid carrier scoreboard penalties for being late. So you can use this trailer to run you some more runs for extra $100. So what I would do is I would go back and bid an extra $100 on that run to cover my fuel costs just in case I win the bid, you know, and I'm cool with $1,000. I bid $1,100 on it. And I have a trailer for extra 3-4 days to run me some more runs. So the loaded miles were only 300. So that's over $3 a mile right there. That's almost $3 and 20-something cent a mile. $5.97. Half of that, y'all saw it. That's all. Half of that is only loaded miles, because the other half of the miles is you bringing the empty trailer back. But you can even extend that time. Making the Lakeland, $385, roughly $400 at that. I can bid on that. Boom. It says our best bid. You see it? Our best bid. They're going to have this in 7 days. They're going to be considering the bids in 7 days. If you bid on that, I get notifications if I bid saying that we're considering this bid within the next hour or so, or whatever the case may be. These are dedicated offers. See how somebody from Macon to Lakeland and bid $1,800 on that? Macon to Lakeland, probably 300 and something miles, I guess, whatever. They bid $1,800. One of my carriers did this. So when they bid on it, and then they make it, they'll call me and say, yeah, we're considering that $1,800 bid. Sometimes they be like, man, can we pay you $15, $16? I call my carrier and say, hey, bro, they're considering your Macon to Lakeland bid, but the most they want to pay on it is $16. And they be like, yeah, but I always teach my people to bid a little higher. Y'all know how the game go. So it gives you something to bargain and go back and forth with. Now, those are dedicated lanes. I have dedicated lanes. Let me show you some of my dedicated lanes. I'm going to go to offers. Boom. Y'all see dedicated right there? Dedicated. I only have 2 right now that are dedicated. Boom. But they sent them out. Like earlier today, I probably had like 15 or 20. I got a Groveland, 51 miles, $400. So that's right at darn near, you know, $8 a mile. I got a Groveland to McKinney, 139, 600. That's right at $4 a mile. That's a dedicated lane though. I get those all day. I get Groveland going to 22 miles, I have to get $400. Anything going up from Groveland to McKinney is $600. Now, these contracts last for a certain period of time, like it may be, you know, 30 weeks. And at the end of that, they're going to renegotiate the contract, and this 400 will probably be 475, 500. This 600 probably be 700, 725. So that's why your performance and being on time. Yeah, that'll be $1,800 per load, D. That's why I tell you, you can go and bid on them. You can go and see these loads, and you can bid on them. And when you bid on them, somebody bid on Union City up in Atlanta going to Bessemer, Alabama, $850. I think that's 180 miles for $850. So they already done bid on. Now, if you win that bid, they're going to let me know. Active bids, my bid. So people bid, not just on dedicated run. They bid on my board on some regular runs like Haines City to Bowling Green. Somebody bid, they were offering $330. Somebody bid for $440. Groveland to Kissimmee, they were asking $320. We bid $400. Because some of the loads aren't on my dedicated account. Look at this, 22 miles. Groveland to Ocoee. They wanted to pay $210. We asked for $350. That's only 22 miles, Groveland to Ocoee. But these are Groveland runs. 87 miles. They wanted to pay $350. That's what you guys gonna see, $350. And we can bid at $450. And most likely we'll win our bids because of my performance rate. When I say my performance rate, let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Okay. When you talk about performance rate already this year, I done took 92 loads already. My earnings is $47,800. That's under my umbrella. No, I didn't make all that by myself. But it's a large volume of freight. And that's how many loaded miles I done with them. These are my loads this week. Wednesday, we did this one, Groveland to Orlando. That's 35 miles, $400. Job complete. Actually, I did that. You see Rufus, that's the one y'all made the live video when I was picking up at Niagara Water. This is one of my drivers in my truck when I'm not driving my yellow truck. This is Mr. Al. I'm Groveland to Plant City. That's 55 miles, $400. That was done Tuesday to Wednesday. Picked it up at 10 o'clock, delivered at 1 in the morning, $400. Another Tuesday morning, he picked up for $440. But this is one of my carriers. He's on the board. He picked up from Groveland going, that's the one. Remember that bid it run you seen going to Port Orange? They were offering $350. He won the bid for $440. I told you, we bid $440, $450, most likely we make it. So Groveland to Orlando, that's about 35. It could be 20-something miles because it depends on where you're going at in Orlando. So I just say 35. That's usually the farthest location is 35 miles, $400. So that's over, you know, $10 a mile. Rolling to Kissimmee, the farthest is usually 45. You see, I get paid $445 on that. Ain't no telling what they was offering. 3-something, he probably bid $445 and got it. Look at this one. I picked up this road Saturday because I ain't had nothing to do, and I ain't delivered it till Monday. I actually delivered it Monday morning, $900. I just let it sit on my trailer and got my money, you know, and did it. That's me, Rufus Thorne. So I picked it up, took it, went home, enjoyed my family, chilled out. Monday, I got up and delivered the load, $900. All right. This last week, Thursday. So when you look at it, that's my performance rating. App usage, excellent. When you go delivering these loads, they want you to use their app to, when you book this load, like let me show you. Every time, let's say, I'm gonna go back a little bit and show y'all exactly how this works. So let me say I assign somebody jobs and offers. We're gonna go to jobs and offers, right? So on this, it's simple. If this person right here assign jobs, I'm gonna go to jobs, not offers, jobs. I'm gonna go into jobs. Okay, Damien right now, he's a carrier. He got his own truck. He's up under me. So he picked up this role in Groveland. So when it says app usage, he have to click on that. He's gonna click on Groveland, and it's gonna show him the Groveland location. That's Damien, dispatcher Rufus Thornton. It's gonna show him the Groveland location. So he picked it up at 4:59. So when you start the app, if he hadn't been there, you would click this arrow right here, and it's gonna turn the address blue. You'll have to click that address right there, and you have to follow that direction. You can't use your own personal GPS. That is how we get our performance rating. And then when you deliver, the app will prompt you, say you have arrived, get loaded, have you loaded, you click yes. And then you go to the second location, click the arrow, the address will turn blue. You click on it and say, go ahead and proceed to whatever. So once he get loaded, he gonna click on this, it's gonna turn green. Now I already know that particular driver where he is because the app is showing me. So that's one of the areas that grade us in to why we're able to win bids, and I got a higher performance rate. So my fleet, these are different people all over the U.S. that I give access to my board. Owner operators, dispatchers, brokers, whatever the case may be. All right, so these are different people that actually have access to my board. Yeah, I got a large volume of people that use my board for their own particular reasons. So with that being said, we're gonna do some job searches. We're gonna do some jobs. Go to jobs and offers if you're using this board. And when you go there, we're gonna go to search. Sort of like Amazon. If y'all seen the earlier, if y'all been looking, it's sort of like Amazon. You got jobs, you got searches. Amazon got everything at the top head and post a truck, all that. So we're gonna go to searches. And now you could create your own search. I got my saved search, my own individual. Then I got all saved searches. Everybody who got a saved search up under me, I can go look at it and see exactly what they have been bidding, what they've been winning. So if I got a truck in that area, I can bid close to the same thing. Those are some advantages you will have when I teach my dispatching course on how you can manipulate this board. And you ain't got to wonder like, man, why I ain't gonna bid out in Fargo, North Dakota? But if you got a person on this board, one of their saved searches is Fargo, North Dakota, you can go look at that particular.
You want that from El Pacho?
No, I'm good, bro. Appreciate it. So you can actually go and look at it, and then you can actually see like, oh, okay, then them loads been going. You can go back through my history. See, when some people give you access to boards, they don't give you the access that I give people. So if I wanted to add you, this is what I do. I go to fleet. I go to add user. And people that are under me can do it. I can add whoever I want. They'll ask for the name. I can put BBB. And, boy, they're going to ask for BBB. It says cannot, name cannot. I guess I got to put a real name, Bobby. Doty. Shoot, I guess what the hell I'm doing. They won't let me put a name. I've been kicked off my own shit. All right, and then I go in there, and then when I click enter, it'll go to the phone number. Once I do that, I would have added you just like I add these other people on up under me. And when some of these people are added on up under me, they got what they call, I can choose if they want to have driver's access. They don't show them all the information. They can't add nobody. They can only look at the information that's been dispatched out to them. Then I can give you administrative access. So a lot of this stuff that you see me doing, they can add on people. They can dispatch loads. They do that. So I give a lot of my administrative people that are part of my dispatching course and people that are carriers coming on up under me access to actually learn dispatching as they go through making the money. A lot of people have to pay for dispatching courses. But with me, you actually make the money as you learn in dispatching and booking others as well as yourself if you have a particular unit up under me. So that's how that worked. Boom, 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 boom. Went to past jobs again. Let me see if I showed y'all everything that I could show y'all under past jobs. Probation, on time. That's not a bad percentage. It's still not, even though it's got probation, that's nothing to spook you. They just try to keep you on. Fall-offs is when you done book some loads and some people truck breakdown or whatever, and you done book 4 or 5 loads and you can't get them without the fall-off. So that happens, but it's still not a bad percentage. It's still a low percentage because I got a good performance rate. This right here is, most of this is like y'all know this was the 6th, so we were beginning the 4th month. So in the 3rd month, I'm averaging right at 45 every quarter. We got 4 quarters. So I'm gonna be right at with this particular one board here. And we ain't got into the busy signal season. But if you look at it, now how much am I getting on the average per mile? This is how you would add it up. This is loaded miles right here. So if you divide, I just round that up to 10,000 miles and I round this down to 7. So I'm getting $4.70 a mile. This is proof. You can't change these numbers because this site right here is a convoy site. So on the average with loaded miles, I'm getting $4. I try to reduce my deadhead time because that's not included, deadhead miles, but you see it yourself. So I'm averaging that. Now, when I compared it to me doing peanut season, loaded miles, if I was going 200 miles from like Colquitt to over there in Alabama on the other side of Pensacola. And when I did it, I think we'll come back, we're making $700 and something or whatever. Might make 8, I'll just say 8. So loaded miles, it was half that trip. The whole trip took 400 miles. But 200 miles of it were loaded coming back and delivering either in Blakely or Colquitt. So everybody been telling me like those rates are good. And I was like, I'm not liking it. And if you look at mine right here, my deadhead, most of these are local runs. I'm no more than probably 45 to 50 miles from the house when I take these. So when you look at these runs, I park at the location. So if I go 30 miles out, I'm probably 30 miles back. So if you look at that as far as the deadhead miles and you try to calculate it, you can't really look at mine like that because my trip for 35 miles is $400, which is over $10 a mile. So if I do 60 miles round trip at $4, I'm still right at 6 goes into 40. I'm at $7 a mile. If you do a 200-mile trip one way and 200-mile trip back, and you do the whole trip, if I do my whole trip, which is 60, and getting paid $400, as you've seen earlier, right here, this Orlando, the round trip is 60 miles. Let's say 70 miles. 7 goes into 40. That's actually $5 a mile. So I did the whole round trip. But if I do the 400 miles and then I get $800, I'm right at $2 a mile. So when you figuring things and people saying that they making it, peanut season, with a lot of them runs just didn't get it. You got some good peanut season runs. You got some we were going from, I think, Colquitt to Moultrie, and I think they were paying right at $400. It was round trip is like 100 and maybe 50 miles. But the thing about that is if it's 150 miles round trip, let's say 120 miles round trip, I'm still right at just at $3 a mile. So I guess that was what they call a good run. When you get something coming back, maybe, but still coming back, it might be a $700 a day. And then you're doing like 100, you got to go to another place and then come home. So it'll probably end up being right at 180 miles, I guess you did that day, and you can make $600-700, I guess. That's what my figures are. I got the papers, I put them on social media. So I'm still not impressed with that, because 5 times 180 still puts you, you know what I'm saying, right at the 800 mark. But it's no more impressive than, you know, than what I was doing for me to be away from home. But that's how you would figure your numbers, your fuel. We talked about it. You can figure your fuel costs, operation costs. You got to consider that when you're dispatching, either for yourself or others. All right, y'all. So with that being done, I just wanted to kind of share something. If some area you want to look at to see a freight in a certain area, now's the time to text me. Or if you got a question, now's the time to ask for anybody that's listening in. But that is my board. A lot of people don't share stuff like this. I don't mind sharing it. Don't make me better than them. It's just who I am. So if who I am makes me better, then it is what it is. I'm going to keep being me and doing me. So my offers, like I said, I get offers. This is why I don't have to really pay for a lot of load boards. I get offers, dedicated offers. I get recommended. When you see recommended, they recommend that. See, I told you Groveland to Orlando, 34 miles, 270. Even with that itself, 3 goes into 27, 9 times. So it's right at $8 a mile. You know what I'm saying? So if you said round trip to it, 65 miles, okay. 6 goes into that, at least $4 a mile. So I'm still, you know what I'm saying? I'm still doing good as far as my numbers. Look, this Groveland, I told you, 25 miles. But I get that's what they recommend. See, I'm in the recommend section. But when I win my dedicated offers, you'll see some of these same runs, 25 miles, for $400. That is the difference. It's all good, John, man. Welcome to have you, bro. What's up, Livia? So I get these. This is what y'all see. This is what they recommend to y'all, $250, and it ain't bad. Like that's $10 a mile. So a lot of people be like, hell yeah, I'll take that as $10 a mile. You know, that ain't bad. But when you got volume, y'all see them same runs, I'm getting $400 minimum because I got a dedicated offer. So I just wanted to show y'all some of the things they recommend, difference between what they recommend to y'all when you ain't in position versus being in position and what they recommend to me. Look at the bids I won. Boom. It's got 4 bids. These same runs, Groveland to Kissimmee, 49 miles. You see how they offer y'all $320? But I can bid $400 on them because that's what they normally give me. Look at this mile. Look at this right here. This was 22 miles, Groveland to Ocoee. That's right up from my house. Right, it's literally 4 miles from my house. So I can go 30 miles to get it, come 30 miles back, 60 miles, and go in there. 6 going there, that's still over $3 a mile, and be home. So it's just different ways to look at it. You got to be able to figure your fuel, 6 miles a gallon. I'm going to go over this one more time. I usually average my box trucks and all 6 miles to the gallon. That's what it is. 6 miles equal 1 gallon. So 600 miles will equal 100 gallons. So fuel cost today is $5.25. If you look at it, it's $5.25. So to go 100 gallons, to use 100 gallons, which is 600 miles, you would pay $525. Look at these trips, y'all. So if I spend $5.25 on this for 600 miles, I get, for every $525 I spend in fuel, I get 600 miles. Look at what I'm doing. Let me go back. This is how you have to do your miles. All right, and I'm going to do round trip. I'm going to do going out there and coming back. All right, so if I can spend $5.25, so look, here go Orlando. We're just going to click it. I'm going to see how many miles it is. So I don't want to cheat y'all. Job